Hey everyone, it's Fun Around. My name is Jordan. This video will be for a Thursday slate of games, and those cup games were a little bit rough on Wednesday. It's safe to say that these teams really do care, and they play a lot better defense. So we had some nice blowouts there. But for these games, these are not cup games, so the teams will not be playing as hard. So we should get some high scoring games. We should get some closer games. There could still be some blowouts as always because it's the NBA. But this will be an analysis of the slate. I'm going to go through each game. I'm going to talk about some props that I see that I think have good opportunities, have good hit rates, have good matchups, all that good stuff. So you will see images that come up on the screen on both sides. It's from a data app called Outlier. There'll be a link in the description for a 7-day free trial for Outlier. And this first game is the Celtics versus the Bucks. The Celtics are 8.5-point favorites. Celtics have no new significant injuries, and the Bucks will not have Giannis. And then AJ Green is questionable, and that's one of their big three-point shooters. Usually when Giannis is out, the Bucks are somewhat competitive in most of the games that they play, but AJ Green not being there, if he doesn't play, that's a lot of shooting that they're going to be missing. So Celtics have been tough, giving up the third least points to teams. The Bucks have been giving up the 11th most points to teams. So we do have a defensive versus offensive matchup here. And then the first prop that I like when I take a look is first quarter prop for Kevin Porter Jr. over assists. So he's hit this in every single game that he's played this year. He played all 12 minutes in the first quarter last time around. With no Giannis and then potentially no AJ Green, he's the starting point guard. So has a really good chance here to get 2 assists. He's going to pretty much play the entire first quarter. I would assume 9 to 12 minutes. And there are 2 matchups in there against the Pistons, and the Pistons give up the least amount of assists, and he was able to get it done. So I do like the opportunity there for Kevin Porter Jr. And then the rest of the guys for the Bucks, they have a really tough matchup here against the Celtics. Ryan Rollins, Kevin Porter Jr., Bobby Portis. A lot of these guys have tough matchups for scoring. And I feel like lines are very high for all of these games. I don't know why the Bucks, I guess after the cup games and everything, a lot of defensive matchups, people think they're going to be more offense here. So a lot of the lines for a lot of these games look very, very high. So one guy that has a really good matchup is Jaylen Brown. So you could take a look at his PRA. The Bucks give up the 5th most points, the 5th most rebounds, and the 5th most assists to the small forward position. So you could look at his PRA, but they do have his points line at 30, adding it into that PRA. He has gone over PRA in 6 out of the last 7 games, and that is just strictly just matchup based. But let's say he does have a cold game, takes less shots. His rebounds assist is not a bad look either. It is extremely high. I wish it was a little bit lower. But he has hit this in 5 out of the last 6 games at 12.5, and obviously really good matchup for rebounds and assists. I would prefer if you did like a parlay and you wanted to do an alt line parlay, 11.5. He's hitting 8 out of the last 10 games, so much better hit rate there. Just knocking it down by 1. So otherwise, a lot of the guys' lines are really high, so it's really tough with this game. So for a lean here, if AJ Green sits, then I definitely like the Celtics. If he plays, I think the Bucks could put up a little bit of a fight like they normally do at home, but right now I don't know. So I'm going to lean the Celtics on the road with the -8.5. This next one is going to be a low-scoring game, or it should be. The points total line is really low for this. The Clippers and the Rockets. Rockets are 9.5-point favorites. Clippers have no new significant injuries. Rockets have no new significant injuries. And once again, I'm going to point out Steven Adams' rebounds. He keeps on hitting this. The Clippers give up the 12th most rebounds to the center position. He's averaging 9 rebounds on the season. He's only missed this in 3 different matchups. So, why not? And then also his first quarter rebounds, just getting 2 of them. He's averaging around 6 minutes in the first quarter, so playing about half of it. He has got this in every single game except for the very first game of the season for his first quarter rebounds. So really like that as well. Then for Clippers players, the Rockets are so good on defense that it's a lot of their lines have been dropped, but it's really tough to pick. They shut teams down from getting rebounds. So like you're going to see Zubac's rebounds is pretty low, but he could he could have a good rebounding game. It's just the matchups are really tough here. One good matchup is the Clippers give up the fourth most 3-pointers made to teams. So a couple of Rockets players who have been knocking down their threes and are backups. So if it did end up being somewhat of a blowout, they would get some more minutes. And the first guy is Reed Shepherd over his threes. So over 1.5 3-pointers made. He's gone over this in all but 2 home games this year, averaging 6 3-point attempts a game and hitting it at almost 50% in those games. And then another shooter is Aaron Holiday off the bench. His minutes are starting to go up in the rotation from the beginning of the year. So I filtered to just 15 or more minutes, which is what he's been getting around. And he's had 2 or more threes in all but 1 game this year with 15 or more minutes. That's an 89% hit rate. He's also averaging around 6 attempts a game and almost 50%. So just the same as Reed Shepherd. So like both of those guys that hit 2 threes, at least 2 threes in this matchup versus the Clippers. And then for a lean here, the Clippers have struggled to cover the spread. The Rockets have been pretty good against the spread, and they have a really good defense. Lean on their defense, and they're at home. So I'm going to lean the Rockets here. And before I get into these final 2 games, if you guys could, please like the video. If you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. We went over 1,000 likes again. You guys are awesome. This is a great community. I love all the support and everything that you guys have been giving me. You're not just going over 1,000 likes. It's like 1.3, 1.5, all that stuff. Even the unders video that I did in the morning, like it wasn't 1,000 likes, but it got a lot for the views that it had. Like it was insane. So you guys are awesome. If you have a little bit of extra time, because of a comment for the algorithm, you just put a W there. Helps get this video out there for more people to see. And after those cup games, man, it's just I feel like I need to see some more overs happen. I need to see a lack of defense, which the next game I talk about will have that, or should have that. But before I get into that, I want to shout out a couple of social sportsbooks. Social sportsbooks, you can bet on all the states you see on the screen, except for California and New York. You can bet money lines, spreads, single bet in states where you can't use DraftKings or FanDuel, so you're not just stuck with PrizePicks. So Onyx Odds is doing a bet 10, get 100. No Vegas doing bet 5, get 50. You can just put $15 down and get 150 to play with. And then also I want to shout out Underdog Fantasy doing another one of these type of deals, doing bet 5, get 75. Awesome deal for all of those. If you just put $20 down, you get 225 to play with. So promo code is FINDAROUND11. Links will be in the pinned comment for that. Thank you to anyone who uses those. And then this next game is the Trailblazers versus the Pelicans. Trailblazers are 4.5-point favorites. Blazers do have a long list of injuries, but notable ones are Drew Holiday's out, Klingon is out, and then backup center Robert Williams is questionable. For the Pelicans, Zion is out, and then Jordan Poole is questionable, which is an upgrade for him. Whenever he was playing, he was really eating up volume from a lot of the younger guys. Jeremiah Fears wasn't doing as well. So it'd be really interesting when he comes back to see if Fears is going to still play, and get the same amount of volume. He should. Honestly, he should probably trade Jordan Poole. But the Pelicans give up the 3rd most points to teams, and the Blazers give up the 6th most points to teams. So this should be a high-scoring game, just lack of defense here. So with 2 bad defenses, got to take a look at the Portland Trailblazers' best scorer, Deni Avdija. Like him for over 25 points. He's averaging about 15 attempts a game, but he's over the last 10 games, but it's been an extremely efficient 15 attempts a game. He did play the Pelicans on November 12th. He had 32 points against them, and he just continues to score in very easy matchups like this. So I do like Deni Avdija. Then for the Pelicans, a guy who's starting to blossom is Derek Queen, the rookie center. Just had a triple-double. Awesome game from him. I know his scoring has been up and down. You can see it on the screen. But last time he did play the Blazers, actually the first time he played the Blazers, he shot 12 for 18 for 26 points for the first time matching up against him in his career. And without Donovan Klingon there for the Trailblazers, without potentially Robert Williams, they're going to be lacking some size. So good opportunity for him. And then for the rest of the Pelicans, like I said, Jordan Poole could eat up a lot of volume. So I'm just going to stay away from those guys right now without knowing that injury. So for a lean, both teams have actually covered the spread in 7 out of the last 10 games. So I'm going to go with the home team here in the underdog, the Pelicans, to cover the spread against the Trailblazers in this one. And this last one is the Nuggets versus the Kings. I feel like they're always playing each other, but they just play each other twice. Nuggets are 9.5-point favorites. The Nuggets still do not have Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon, and Julian Strawther. The Kings won't have Zach LaVine, Sabonis, and then Dennis Schroeder is doubtful. So with no LaVine, Sabonis, or Schroeder, that makes me think, the volume from LaVine, rebounding from Sabonis, passing from Schroeder. Who can do all of that and who's going to get a good opportunity here? And I think it's going to be Russell Westbrook. I think he's going to get a ton of minutes here. So I like his rebounds and assists. So he's coming off a triple-double of his own. And this season, in 2 games versus the Nuggets, he's had 19 and 17 total rebounds and assists. He's hit it in both of the games. Without Sabonis this year, he's had a triple-double in about 1/4 of games. So if you want to take a shot at it, it's at about plus 600 right now. And then when it comes to the Nuggets, I wish I could point out Jokic lines, but he just kind of has been like in cruise control lately, and I don't know what it is. Last time he did play the Kings, he had a huge scoring game, big rebounding game, and not much of a passing game. Other than that, he's really just been kind of just in cruise control. So all of his lines are really high, of course. One guy to point out with Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown out is Peyton Watson over his rebounds and assists, has a 90% hit rate in games. I know he's just like barely getting over it. He did go over versus the Kings earlier this year. So you could bump this down if you wanted to do like an alt line parlay, and then obviously the hit rate is going to go to 100%. Or you could go to his rebounds, which he seems to be doing a little bit better at. If you bump that down by 1, that also has a 100% hit rate and could be a good leg for a parlay. And then as for lean here, actually neither of these teams are really good covering the spread lately. Like I said, Nuggets have been in cruise control. The Kings, most of their best players are in the starting, like Malik Monk's now in the starting lineup. It looks like Keegan Murray, they're really struggling right now with talent. So I think there's no depth there. So I think they can hang when the starters are there. I think they have enough good scores to hang around. But when it comes to the second units going up against each other, I think the Nuggets can start to pull away a little bit. And I'll lean the Nuggets on the 9.5 here. So if you guys would like to discuss lines further, I have a Discord. Link is in the description. Hop on in there, talk about basketball, football, all that good stuff. That is completely free. And then as far as the recap goes, I had the 30 for 30 parlay with Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Luka, and Shai got to 28, and they pulled him earlier in the third quarter than he normally does. So it sucks. Luka hit his obviously, but those blowouts are just bad. It happens even in the unders video. Dylan Brooks went under on his rebounds, and then Devin Booker didn't play, which they announced his absence like 15 minutes before tip-off, letting everyone know, hey, he's not going to be there. And then I was sitting there thinking, okay, well, this might get ugly. Hoping that it wouldn't, but it got ugly. So they just kind of just wanted everyone to submit their slips and then say, okay, Devin Booker's not playing. And it's like, oh, well, crap. I'm already locked in on some of these overs for these guys. So that sucked. And then Luke Cornett, I had him on the under in the unders video for points, and he actually played the most minutes out of everyone on the team before he got subbed out. It was insane. He played more minutes than he has. I checked his game log, more minutes than he has in a long time. I don't know why they decided to keep him out there, but he made 1 shot, and then the rest were all free throws, and he ended up going over. They just kept fouling him. But that one sucked. But I still will keep the unders videos going. I do feel like they were good reads. Just when I'm doing this analysis, I'm looking for good hit rates and stuff like that. And you normally don't find good hit rates for unders unless it's because someone's injured and the line is bumped up, and then now the hit rate is good, but they have really good chance of going over because so and so is out. So it's a little bit more difficult to find hit rates. I can look at matchups and stuff like that, but in the morning I'll switch my mindset to trying to find that opportunity where the matchup is tough and there's good potential for going under. So I'm gonna get this one edited and get it out to you all. God bless you. It's the final round. My name is Jordan. I will catch you on the next one. Bye.